Hey my friends, welcome back again to this video with OSP Pro. Now again in this video simply today I'm going to show you how can we connect mysql with Python. Now at the moment I'm using Python 2.7, but it will be the same as the person who's using Python 3.6 or Python 3 and above. Now the first thing I have to let you know, to connect mysql with the Python, please make sure you have happened maybe to install one as XAMPP or WAMP server in your machine. Make sure you have a server in your machine. If I told it's your first time to hear about mysql programming, please, I'm going to give it in the description below. Go to my playlist and look on the mysql programming videos of anyone. I'm going to put on the playlist on the description below, where you guys can always access on my videos that maybe I would like you guys to recommend actually to watch, especially the mysql programming where it is a good practice. I would like you guys to do so. Now they said the first thing, make sure you have a server in your machine. Now I already have one here. I have your WAMP server, XAMPP with me at the moment. If you try to cross check on this XAMPP that we have, I'm going to just make sure that I turn mysql to run. So just click on mysql. That would be enough. But since some of you guys it is your first time to watch my programming videos, I'm going to show you here by just creating a simple database with just some few data inside it, and then we try to maybe that's it. So the thing like that, go to shell and then open up the shell to pop up like that. So we can always minimize on whatever we are seeing there, so that we can remain up with our shell that we happen to open. Now make sure mysql is running, just like you see with showing stop, that implies it is running. Minimize that. Now inside here we're just going to write a mysql command that can enable us to go in and we start creating up a database, which is localhost -u for root or username and -p for password. So when I happen to click there, enter for password, that's it. So I'm just going to come back down here and I try to list all the databases by typing -show databases, and definitely that's the databases I have. I already have databases with me, so we can just create one or we can just pick from these databases here. Now let me just say I'm going to be using what known as a web infonet, but there is one thing I have to let you know, guys. If it is your first time to create a database, just type create database, then please specify the database you'd like to use. If you want to create, if the database you want to create is called, maybe I give assumption, maybe u2 like that, just make sure you put a semicolon, then when you click enter, if now again you type show databases, please you'll find yourself having that database u2 among the list of databases. I think now you can see here, which was not there previously from this other section hub. Now if you try to cross check, so far you also have that database called u2. Now I'm not going to continue anymore further. Please my friend, if you know you like to create a database and like to insert in data, I request you please watch my video. Fine. Now to come down here to use the database, just type on as use. Now we are just going to say u2. Now with this one here, or we need to create a table, meaning you can put the same colon or you may not put the same colon as long as you are in use. Now instead to create a table, I'm just going to say create table and then give a table name, maybe use or users, like that. We can open there or we can enter and then open from here. The first one I'm just going to make it ID and I'm going to make it integer, and I'm just going to call it 11. That implies going to say like 999 billions of people, and I'm also going to make it not null, and I can also make it auto increment. That implies it's a must. It will be just adding on 1 to what already happen to exist there. Then the next thing I will happen to say, maybe username, whereby with the username this is a variable character. That implies in a simple term, the number of letters you happen to put is the number of letters it will be providing. Then if it is a course, you can also specify the course. The course is also a version. You can specify whatever you'd like to give. Don't forget that version sums up to 255 and starts from 0. So I'm just also going to make it not null, so that I give it something like that. Now let me just set the primary key here, whereby my primary key in simple terms is going to be ID, and that's our ID which you happen to use. So you can just come also down here and then just try to close up this program, and that's it. So if you try to cross check, this is a simple way. I know I'm a bit kind of fast here because I said I'm going to add the video on the descriptions. So please, if it is your first time to watch my MySQL programming video with Python, I just request to watch my complete MySQL programming video, then you can come back to this kind of programming with the Python. Now the next thing I'm going to just do here is to try to insert data, or before that you can always just go to disk, whereby you can describe the table called users, and this is the architecture or the design we happen to use for that thing. To insert data into the database, database table, just say insert into, then give the table name which is users, then the columns you're going to insert in, we have the ID and username. I'm not inserting into ID because I've already happened to say ID is going to be auto increment. Otherwise we are going to be inserting into the username and then the course. Then here, so like now, like I've said, make sure you have that field. Then you can just simply say values, whereby you can just enter the first one. Since it's a variable character, you can just make that one to be that, or just take one username OSP, and that if there's a course you can just put ICT. I'm just going to give that now for to save time. I already have that data inserted. You can insert as many data as you wish. I'm just going to try to duplicate this very one to maybe computer science, and then I just change this one to pro, then just add another more extra data there. So if you now try to select data from the database, just type select everything from the users, which is our table, and that's it. I think you can see at least you have some data there in the database. Now members, at this time it's taking so long that we are using MySQL, and at the end of the time we also have to connect. Now I'm just going to show you in this time around. Now let's make sure you at least open up our shell where you're going to be connecting up with. So I'm going to open up my script where I'm going to be using Python 2.7, just like I've said to you initially, and that's it. So I'm going to create a folder which we shall going to be using, or we shall be using for our stuff. So I'm just going to call maybe MySQL Python, like that. Now that's the folder which I'll be using. So I can always go to File, New, whereby this one, although I minimize, it may not help us at the moment as that. This is where we're going to be using for connection. So go to File, Save As. So I'm just going to save it maybe example 1, maybe on desktop, and we're looking for Python, MySQL Python, and then just double click and add your what known as example 1. That's going to be our first example. Make sure it's .py or py. Now inside here we're going to see how to connect MySQL database with Python. To connect MySQL database with Python, my friends, please make sure you import first. What are we importing? We are importing the module known as a MySQL. So don't forget the spelling on the way when we are trying to install the MySQL into our database. The first thing you're going to be doing, actually when you're installing MySQL into during the terminal, the first letter is capital, then the following letters as capital, apart from Y. So import MySQL DB as, you can just import it as SQL, like that. Whereby if you happen to click save this very stuff we have and try to run, what do you expect it to put? There's no error. That implies the reason why you see we don't have an error here is because we already have, if you try to improve and type from here that import MySQL DB and you don't have an error, maybe as anything you give there, if you don't have an error, that implies for sure you have MySQL DB in your machine. That's why we don't have an error in our program. Otherwise, if you see an error, that implies your installation was not successful, or you have not yet happened to install. Now come back in here. What else are we going to be doing at the moment? we are now going to create one as Python command for connection. Now the first thing we're going to be doing here at the moment is to declare declaring, or one known as declaration of variables or variable for mysql Python connection. That's the first thing you have to always know whenever you're going to be connecting Python with MySQL. What do I mean here? You just come underneath here. You can even just say dbcon or db, whereby db is the variable we happen to give into our Python program, and this variable is equal to one as connect dot what? Connect. We have one as, the first thing you have to know here, we have this our db, which is our variable, and have this connection that we are trying to link to. Now our connection at the moment here, we should be connecting to the local host. Remember, this is our local host. We happen to say this XAMPP is a local host in a simple term. So the first name you can use there, you can either use 127.0.0 7.0.0.1 if you want to use that, or if to avoid you may forget those stuff, just type one as local host like that, and then here the next stuff is one as the username, which is root in our case, because XAMPP or WAMP server does not, that's the default username happen to come up with. Then for the password, please don't put anything, just leave it like that. Then for what known as the database name, because that's the last stuff we have, I've said this one is for the server name, which is localhost. This is for username, which is root. This is for the password, which you don't have, and then the last one is for what known as, or what you can term as the database name. Now remember, our database name, if you remember very well, is called U2. That's our database name. But remember, what are we trying to direct this to? We are trying to direct this one by the help of one known as mysql db. Otherwise, if you try to run this at the moment, we are going to get an error. Is what I mean. You have to direct basing on the name of your mysql db, which is this, which you happen to import. So since you happen to import this one as sql, it's like sql is going to be sql.connect for us that. So if you try now to click this save, hold save or Ctrl S to save. If you now try to run this at the moment, we shall find that our connection is successful. As long as you get this down here, that implies the connection is successful. Once more, I think this is what happened to say. I think you can see, my friends, the connection is successful. The reason why it's connection is successful, we have really for sure imported MySQL, and this is the right spelling we happen to use, and we happen to call it as that SQL. Now if you try to look here, we declare a variable db is equal to sql, which is this very variable, the variable name which happen to call to give the to be as this here dot the connection method, and then this is the local host because we are using XAMPP or WAMP server, and then the username is root, then there's no password, then the database name is called U2. If you remember very well when I was showing you from here where our database name or we happen to use is called U2, if you remember very well here where I said use U2, and you happen to create a table, the architecture design of the table is that you can just copy that very fast, and then you do the same thing with architecture, and then you try to insert some values, and I think members you have seen how I happen to insert the values. At the end of the day, if you try to check on your connection, members, you should have the same thing just like what you see me happen to do. Now if this video for sure has happened to help you, I now try to bridge up complete little bit of creating up a database in MySQL, using up the database you happen to create, and try to search some data, and even try to select and pick that data from that database. If this video happened to help in the part of MySQL, and if your first time to watch my MySQL programming video, please I request you, and I try to request you, go to my playlist and just look for videos for complete MySQL programming videos, so that you get enough information concerning MySQL. Then he also happened to finally show you how to connect MySQL with your Python program, either Python 2.7 or Python 3 and above. So if this video helped you, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if there's anyone who wants to talk with me and concerning any businesses or any systems, you can always hit me with your email address. Just send your email address and tell me that, sir, please, I would like us to have some conversation. I have no problem. We can always see how we can make sure that we always link up as a group of people who love what they're doing. So guys, if this video helped you, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if anyone willing and wishes to get a book from me, please just subscribe to my channel and then ask me for any book you wish me to send to you. That's it. So guys, thanks for watching. Love you all. Thank you.